friends, Laura Johns, founder and CEO of the Business Growers. Thank you for joining us on the No Grow Scale podcast, where we talk about all things growing MSPs and IT companies. Really excited to talk about fractional CMO, buzzword in the industry, buzzword really all over. And there really is a time and a place for fractional CMO in any business, in your MSP for sure. And we want to talk about when that is, why do I need one? Do I need one? Why would I look into getting a fractional CMO? So there are, like I said, specific instances where you would or would not need a fractional CMO. Do you have your sales team built or at least equipped to go out and follow up on leads that are generated? Definitely need that if you're going to bring this type of role internally in marketing. Do you have some of the right foundational operational things in place? You definitely don't want to start your business, let's just say, with 2 or 3 employees and bring that fractional CMO in. You want to have a really good solid foundation built, and you want to have the right things and right people in place before you bring somebody in. So, expertise, one major reason why you would certainly want somebody at that CMO level. Keep in mind though, CMOs typically at that fractional level are doing this for a couple of other companies. They're coming in to bring strategy. They're coming in, they should certainly be specialized in your industry. You certainly don't want to bring a CMO in that has no experience in your industry. It's a waste of money. In my opinion, you want to bring somebody who's got years and years of experience. But typically, this fractional CMO person is going to have a level of expertise, years in that industry experience, so that they can come in and bring strategy and insights to help you develop your overall plan for tackling your market. Does that mean that they're going to be the one building your website, doing your graphics, doing your SEO campaigns? Absolutely not. So make sure that you understand when you're bringing a CMO in at that level, yes, there are some cost-effective measures that I feel like are checked off the list in terms of cost effectiveness is there, because a lot of times you don't really need a full-time CMO, because if you are paying, depending on the size of your company, you are paying a full-time CMO and they are less tactical, more strategic, then you're really investing a lot of budget. My suggestion is if you have, I'd say 30 to 50 employees is a really good benchmark to bring in that CMO. That CMO is going to guide strategy. If they are fractional, which that's what we're talking about here today, they're going to bring that top tier marketing expertise without the hefty price tag of a full-time executive, but they are going to put the right things in place to get your team to execute. So expertise, number one reason you would want to hire one. Number 2, cost effectiveness. Number 3, strategic direction. Those CMOs really have probably had an HR role maybe before in the past. They probably have been in sales or worked with sales teams in the past. So a fractional CMO would really work closely with you as the business owner to develop that robust marketing strategy, but could also kind of bleed into internal communications. How are we communicating internally? How are we communicating when we onboard employees? That fractional CMO really can provide strategic expertise more than just marketing, but in how we communicate overall to our prospects, to our stakeholders, to our clients, for whoever we come in contact with as a brand. So expertise, 100%. Typically, if you find a fractional CMO in your industry, is going to bring that level of knowledge that maybe you couldn't afford full time. Second, cost effective if you need somebody to really come in with some strategy, but you don't necessarily have that in house. Strategic direction, and then flexibility. From a time commitment standpoint, from the ability for you to scale in the way that you want to, you're not really investing a ton overhead, but you are getting some of that flexibility where you might have a structure, for a client of ours that we worked with at one time when I was doing a lot of fractional CMO work. It was just, hey, we need you in the Monday leadership meeting to help us guide these few areas. We need you to bring these reports. We need you to bring this value to the meeting. So you want to make sure that as you're bringing in someone in the industry, you give them some really specific, parts of each week that you want them to be involved with. It definitely, as at the Business Growers, we offer to our top tier clients that fractional CMO expertise, but you also do need that execution part. So make sure that you're not, this is a huge, I believe a huge issue when we bring in fractional CMOs. We expect them to do the strategy plus the execution. In most cases, if you have a true CMO level a person, you're bringing in someone who hasn't done tactical work in quite some time. So the expectation of this CMO to be a content writer, a social media expert, that's not a true CMO. That's actually a marketing execution team, a freelancer, that type of thing. So you need to think about like really what value you're wanting this person to bring. Is it at an executive level? Is it something that they can weigh in and make strategic decisions across the business? If that's really what you're looking for, then a fractional CMO in your industry is the right thing for you. So at the Business Growers, we do fractional CMO and implementation and execution. So you have that CMO level strategy and all the execution to go with it. That means you have that content writer, you have that social media manager, you have an SEO expert, you've got a graphic designer, you've got a web developer. Because I found as the CMO at a managed services provider company prior to starting the Business Growers, it was just interesting to me that I was spending a lot of my waking hours and investment of my time into managing all of the different vendors, all of the different marketing agencies that I was working with. Just that was a full-time job just to manage what they were doing, get them up to speed on the industry. It took, a year just to get somebody to kind of align with me on what my strategic objectives were for the business and for lead generation and making sure that our revenue was going up. So sometimes when you bring in that fractional CMO, it might seem like, their full-time job becomes managing a lot of different people, maybe your agencies. Make sure that you are making the right investment and giving this person the right responsibilities. You want them to be giving you a 30-foot view, 10,000 feet view, whatever, however many feet you need to be up, but a really high level view of, how are our leads connecting to our marketing efforts? What is it costing us every lead we get? What is that costing us? And really drilling into the big picture things that are helping you move the needle forward and not putting them in the day-to-day activities of marketing. You really want an execution team to do that. If you're interested in finding out more about how the Business Grower brings both fractional CMO services and implementation support, feel free to look us up at thebusinessgrowers.com. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that your business gets to a place where you can get a fractional CMO that really helps you move forward in the industry.